Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Friday episode of our daily stock market insights. And today is January 3, 2020. It's a brand new year. It's the second trading day of the year. And yeah, I'm excited to chat with you guys again. Hello, Palaboy Trader. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Rid Krista. Good evening. Okay, all right. So I'll be inviting a few of our friends. I've already invited our folks in our page, Invest in the Stock Market. Let me go ahead and invite our friends as well in our Instagrams. So far, slowly, we are creating a group here in our Instagrams profile. So it's also nice. We are working Pinoys in Instagrams. And yep. So if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe. This is our way or your way of helping me grow this network. That way we can be instruments of information, and so we can start informing everyone, our fellow Filipinos, that stock market is manageable. It can be intimidating at first, but yes, it can be done. Of course, through the help of one another. There are a lot of free information. In fact, our friend over here, Palaboy Trader, also has his own YouTube channel, right? Palaboy Trader. You can also catch his daily insights. He reviews stocks as well. So there you go. Okay, for now, if you have requests, just drop a comment, and so we can prioritize your request. Also, if there's none, I can go ahead and check out Instagrams, and uh, the strategy that I use for now is I check out the what's trending, what's hot in this platform, highly talked about stocks right now, and I see MWC still at the top. Then we go tech, fruit, ISM, ABA, MPI, and then the list continues. Okay, so just in case you have your own request, I will prioritize yours. Okay, there you have it. Rid has a request. Good job, Rid. I will prioritize your request. Okay, so MWC, MPI, fruit, and JFC. Let me set up my tools first. What's good with Instagrams, you can just save your charts, and you can load it right away once it's saved. Okay, so we're using Bollinger Band, RSI, and as our main indicators. And let's check out MWC. Okay, so I can remember last night we mentioned that our sentiment for MWC is bearish because of course, we're highly dependent on the technicals that we see on the chart. So before the year ended, this was already a bearish signal for us. And then yesterday, while it's true that it was green, it's slightly lower than the previous day's candlestick. So still, on this day, we didn't see any progress. In fact, it turned out red. Today we had a slightly lower candlestick, so that means I feel that in the coming days we might see some more downward movement for this stock. Now let's check, and since we're monitoring this every single day, let's see where it could potentially land. For now, let's just create this area as an area of focus, meaning let's watch carefully how the market behaves when your price reaches, let's just put it here since it's an area, when the price reaches this level. Okay, so 6.46 would be a key area to watch out for, or could be here, right? Anywhere from 6.46 around that to this part. Okay, so but for now, let's put it at the center, 6.33. So when it touches this area, let's say it revisits this area. Okay, right at this point, it becomes double bottom. And when you see that, let's now check how your RSI is forming at that point. If you see a much higher point or a bullish movement for your RSI, then that would signal, you're nearing a possible bounce. Okay, so those are our um, key signals. MPI. MPI, you're slightly higher than yesterday's candlestick, but again, we're still very near your MA20 line, and at this point, I feel that MA20 line is still acting as a resistance unless this starts much higher than your MA20 line. That means you're now have broken that ceiling. Okay, so that's our imaginary ceiling. And when it does that, then chances are you will most likely have a brand new wave where you have a brand new support. Once you start moving above the MA20 line, your MA20 line now becomes your support. But this time around, I still have to be extra careful since we're still moving below your MA20 line. Okay, look what happened here. It did not exactly touch the line, but at the moment it reaches near that line, there's some kind of rejection transpiring in that pattern. Okay. Hi, Ethel. Good evening. Hi, Miss JD. Hi, my JD. Happy New Year. Meg, please. Yes, definitely. Yeah, Palaboy Trader, my thoughts on MWC is that I'd say there will be more movements downwards, and we'll just check what happens around 6.33 if the market gives us a chance at that area. That becomes double bottom, and then we'll see if it will give us some, a possible bounce in that area. But of course, majority would want for it not to reach that level anymore, right? Because just in case it moves up, then your resistance would be this. Okay, let's still use MA20 as our nearest resistance. Okay, so we're done with the MWC MPI. Fruit this time. Fruit, I'd say fruit has now started to give us a brand new support. I feel this is like a support now for fruit. This used to be a resistance over here, and then some consolidation that happened here. So I feel, and now this is your tiny blue line over here is your MA20. So we're starting to form the Bollinger Band because we are more than 20 days. One, two, yeah, just count the candlesticks. We're more than 20 days, so that means from this point forward, you will see the lines in your Bollinger Band. And if the market, I'm sure with 14.17% increase in price, a lot of people are becoming more bullish for this, meaning they feel that, yeah, technically you're still very near your oversold level, but in just a span of a day, you're almost at the 50% mark or 50 level. It's now at 42.7. So if the market gives you a chance, because there will be a lot of traders, there are a lot of traders in fruit, so there's a big chance that some of them might take profit on Monday, and if you want to still get in near your MA20 line, probably around 1.24 to 1.30, that would still be tolerable. But if the market gives us a chance at 1.19 and then on the same day it bounces, maybe you can use a much faster time frame. Then this is the support that we currently see for fruit. JFC. JFC. Okay, JFC. I think it still respects your MA20 line being your support at the moment. Okay, so overall, it's also best that you wait for a green candlestick for this stock to come out before you enter. But definitely the area of um, focus is your MA20 line. When it reaches that level, see if let's see the market sentiment, um, will the action be happening above the MA20 line or much lower than the MA20 line. Okay, but overall, if you are thinking of long term with JFC, we have to zoom out a little bit and see the real story in this stock. So looking at it right now, there's a big potential of getting a much higher reward than your risk. See that? Because see, the lowest point it reached was 184.80. Good job to those people who entered at this point despite the fear, right, that many of us have been airing out for JFC. So they entered at this point and now they're gaining. But still, we're not that too late in entering this stock. We're starting to move above the MA20 line. So if you want to engage in JFC, I highly recommend to think long term when it's JFC, right? Um, yep, Renato. ISM, please, definitely. I'll check that out. CPM and Apple. Ericsson, I just want to verify. Are you talking about the US market? So I will just have to launch the tool. Apple. I'll check CPM. What company is CPM? I'll verify. Anyway, so that is for RID. We were able to review MWC, MPI, Fruit, and GFC. This time, let's talk about MEG, and this one is from Ethel. Okay, promising movement for MEG here. Notice this line over here. Price was moving downwards, right? And your RSI is already giving us signals that it will potentially really bounce soon. Notice, guys, when you have something like this, that sometimes it can extend uh, for several days, right, or even weeks. So at this point, when you had this from this point A to point B, where price was a little bit lower, and then you had this much higher, so it still bounced, but you only had very minimal bounce. Like this here, it bounced, drop, bounce a little, and drops again. It bounced one more time and drops. So I would have to say, let us use your MA20 line as our resistance. So I'd have to say you're still very near. You're very near the resistance for MEG. So it's up to you. If you would like to enter, maybe you can set a condition wherein when the price starts higher than the MA20 line, that's the time you enter. That way you can be sure, or you can have something like this. It starts higher than this and then it goes up for several days, and when it retraces and stabilizes right at the MA20 line, that's the time you enter. Because sometimes it can go up, but you can have yeah, but this is an example. But when it retraced much higher this time, and then it went up, but it did not really sustain. So if you want, you can wait for a few candlesticks to start moving above the MA20 line, and then that's the time you enter. Otherwise, you can also wait if the market gives you a chance at the 4.17 area, um, to verify if it will stabilize in that area, create a brand new support, then you can enter at that. Otherwise, if you want, This is much riskier. The first candlestick to the entire candlestick to start above MA20 line, then that's the time you enter. Okay, but for now we're very near your resistance, your short-term resistance over here, which is your MA20 line, which is 4.17. Okay, all right. So this one, okay. So MEG, then ISM for Renato, and I'll transition to US market for Ericsson. Okay, for ISM, oops, ISM. Okay, so if guess what? I was reviewing my insights yesterday, and I stumbled onto ISM, and I was accurate when I mentioned that some people might take profit today, and true enough, this thing happened, right? Because um, knowing ISM is full of traders, meaning the moment it gives us a bullish signal, it doesn't take, it does not sustain because many will take profit right away. So this is what happened today. People just took profit, and then it moved downwards. So this is a bearish candlestick, and so if it will give us some more downward movement, the first area to monitor will be your MA20 line. Okay, your MA20 line, and if that thing breaks, then it might go back once again to the 2.89 level. So those are the two areas to closely monitor. But I really hope that now that we're moving above the MA20 line, the bullish momentum will continue, and let's see if this is just a temporary decline, because stock can also rest. So 3.52 and 2.83 are the areas to watch out for. All right. Now, let me also share to you tradingview.com, and this one is for Ericsson. Interact. Hold on. So now that you have finally engaged in the Philippine market, I tell you guys, it's not that complicated. And Ericsson, I'm sure you will be able to attest to this. It's not that complicated to start trading or start investing in the US market. In fact, there are a lot of features where you can really that can help you protect your investment, because there's a stop loss or take profit settings that you can predetermine before you even start trading a particular stock. Okay, so let's check that. CPM. Are you referring to Powder River Basin coal? Yeah, I think this is the one, right? Hmm. China Merchants Port Holding. Am I correct? We are opening China Merchants Port Holding. Yeah, you can just verify, Ericsson, if I have the right stock in front of me. Okay. Well, how much is this? 1.51. This is a secondary stock, or penny stock they call it. Price is moving upward. Okay. So I think if you're going to talk about long term for CPM, there's also a big potential in terms of reward, but the fluctuations of the stock is really extreme. So chances are it might even revisit this 1.46 level around that. So if you want to get in, I feel that the price will still revisit this area before it moves up um, in the long term. Okay, so if you're still considering, wait for it to dip a little bit to maximize your potential gain for this stock. Oh, CPM Philippines stock. Okay, all right. So I'll go back to our Instagrams in a little bit or in a little while. But for now, let's check out Apple. Apple, their iPhone 11 is a big hit. I'm still in Singapore, and when I had a chance to visit Orchard Road, and there was an Apple store. People inside the Apple store is massive. There are a lot of people. Okay, so is this all-time high for Apple? Let me verify. Okay, yes, looks like it. We're at the all-time high for Apple, and we're still above the um, your upper Bollinger Band has been triggered actually since uh, when was this? October. Okay, so I plotted this. I don't know. I can't remember when I plotted it, and this was our resistance previously, and then it broke that. It also broke this now. Um, I really have a strong bullish sentiment for Apple, even if they're already at the overbought level because of a long term perspective towards this stock. And another thing is I need to research further, but they said that each time we reach an all time high, um, that's a good signal because it might create again a brand new wave to the upside, and then more bullish movements will come in not just the coming days, could be months, right? So just hang in there. If you already have a position for Apple, think of long term. If it fluctuates, I'm sure those fluctuations are just minimal movements or retracements. And when it retraces, my recommendation is, of course, add more volume. Okay, so there are a lot of innovations introduced by this company, and I think they're they have no plans at all of slowing down. So promising plans ahead for Apple. Okay, so let me go back to our Instagram CPM. Okay, CPM Century. Okay, okay. So you see this doji over here. When this comes out at the resistance area, that becomes a bearish signal. Chances are, could be on Monday, could be any time next week, you will see the stock resting. Okay, so that's one, the formation of the candlestick. The second hint here is that price was moving upward, but your RSI is now giving us uh, bearish signal, starting to slow down in terms of its momentum. So if you have entered in this stock, consider taking profit. Uh, it's up to you how much profit you're going to take. Is it the entire thing, or you can leave some so that when it dips, you can use the buying power again to buy some more volume at a much lower price. Okay, So that's what we see in CPM. Meralco for ethyl. Meralco is still, it respects your MA20 line being a resistance at this point because most of the action is happening below that line. So it's still giving me a bearish sentiment. So there's a possibility that it will go down further. And let's see. So you had your lower low here, lower high as well. So it's possible that it could also um, go much lower than the previous low. I don't know how low it could take, but you might build another lower low in this situation. So let's see again previously where is the, so you had here, you might have your next low over here, right here, okay, because this used to be your resistance, previous resistance. Okay, so again guys, how do we plot our support and resistance? First you need to check from where it is at right now, then you look to the left, work your way to the left, right? So the reason why I directly stopped or focused on the lowest low over here is that because previously you had lower lows, so it can potentially happen again. Okay, so if you're considering to enter this stock, wait for a little while because if most of the action happens below the MA20 line, it might go lower. But if let's say on Monday it breaks that, then good for all of us. We might see some bullish movements this time around. Okay, so just watch out. Use your MA20 line as an indicator. If action happens below that, then more downward movements. If it crosses above the MA20 line, then that could be a beginning of a brand new wave. AP, okay, starting to give us, this is what I was referring to in the previous talk, when it starts above the MA20 line and most of the action happens above it, then you now have a bullish sentiment for this stock. So chances are, I believe that if people will take profit, well, good, somehow 50-50, because this stock will now give us a chance to enter at a much lower price, and the best entry price of course is to retest your MA20 line. So if it goes down um, and give us a chance at the MA20, then that could be already a good time to start accumulating volume. Okay, when I say start accumulating, your call. You can put a large sum of money in that level, or you can just divide your size and probably 30% in this area, and then when you see some more green candlesticks forming in the coming days, then you add more volume. Okay, but definitely I feel looking at the previous performance of this stock, this used to be your support key areas here, so you have a strong indicator or set of indicators where it built a strong support in this area, and now that we have crossed it, it will just probably retest that and create a much stronger support in that level before it continues to go up. 33.91, okay, or 34 even. All right, so that's our recommended entry price. You have FGen. FGen, as you can see here, red candlestick today. I'll be a little careful and I'll be extra careful for the stock, as it might give us some more red candlesticks, but let us see if it will test this area. You had your bottom over here, right? even touched this area again. Now if it revisits this area, when the price reaches this area, first thing to check what kind of candlestick was formed. At the same time, you also check how your RSI behaves. If you have a slightly higher point from the previous low, then chances are there's a big possibility that you might experience or witness a change in direction, meaning it will potentially bounce in that area when it reaches this level. Okay, so 22.37 is the key area to monitor in the coming days. SPC. SPC, you had a very bearish gap down that happened here, and currently we have this bullish movement. Reason being, it will fill this gap over here. It will fill this gap. Now let us see. The line got broken anyway. Let me just check that. So here's the thing. Let's check if when the price reaches this level, the main goal is for it to break this resistance that we have here. This is the nearest resistance that I see, because sometimes after the price revisits the gap, then it will, in this case, it might use this as a resistance and have some more bearish movement. But again, now that we have created these lines, so your condition is when it reaches this level, we hope to see more bullish movements above here, so that this now becomes your support when it breaks that. Okay, so the goal is for at least a candlestick to form above that yellow line and trigger your upper Bollinger Band. Shell PH. Wow, nice formation for Shell PH. Although it's just a 3.95% increase, it's still showing as a significant increase, because in the previous days, weeks, you have very minimal movements, and you're currently moving. Before this green candlestick, you've been moving sideways for several months. So my take on this, unless there's really no negative news around Shell PH, check out the fundamentals, check out the performance of this stock, see if let's say their Q4 earnings, when their Q4 earnings come out, let's see if you have a good performance in terms of their revenue. Then I feel that it's really good time. It's a good, perfect opportunity now to start engaging in Shell PH. See that you've been moving the support area for a long time, and you're already at a very cheap level for Shell PH. Okay, I suggest you already add this to your watch list. Okay. But let's say if you want to enter around 33.46. That's the area to best enter at. Okay, east west, and this time it's from Romeo. Shell PH is also from Romeo. Okay, so this is a good candlestick pattern that we have here. Previously, you had a red candlestick triggering your lower band, right? But the next day, it engulfed that one. So I have a bullish sentiment that it will continue to move and give us bullish signals. But I'm not saying it will move significantly right after, right? People will take profit definitely, but I feel that right now this is already your lowest point, and then if in case the stock price dips, it will just move sideways first before it continues to go up. The nearest support that I see is 11.90, because here you had support in this area, right? Several days. Okay, so 11.90 is a key area to watch out for as a potential area to enter at. Hi, Randy. Yep, Meg. I'm not sure if you already arrived when I talked about Meg. Okay, for Meg, we had a downward movement here, right? Moving downwards, but your RSI is already giving us some bullish uh, signals, as right now we're slightly higher than the previous point right here. My line is so crooked, so let me just line there. So that's the real line. So it's slightly higher while the price is moving downwards. So now, um, if you want to be really sure, you can either wait for it to confirm your support if some people will take profit and the market gives you a chance at the support level, then conservatively the 3.91 area is a much preferred entry price. If not, and if you really want to be sure about the direction, because currently we're still not safe technically because we're moving below the MA20 line, so some people would like to wait for the price to break the ceiling first, okay? Because right now, since we're moving below MA20 line, your MA20 is your ceiling, and when it breaks that, it might give us this movement retest before it goes up. So wait for it to officially break that, and that's where you enter, okay? Otherwise, if you really want to play you know if you want to take advantage of a cheaper price, check if it will stabilize at the 3.92 area, because this is the nearest support that we currently see for this stock, 3.92. Okay. Yep. So that's our recommendation. So I'm thinking if you'll have some movements in the coming days, it will not be very massive movements. On average, 2-3%. Those are the realistic movements in a day for any particular stock, especially because we're in the Philippine market. The volume is really slim. So make sure to watch our daily insights, and let's talk and see what happens to the chart, okay, in the coming days. That might influence the next insights for Meg. Okay. So, it's nice to see more people joining. If this is your first time to join our stock market insights, please feel free to drop a comment and send us your request so we can also discuss this. At the same time, please do subscribe to our channel so that yeah, you can also help us grow our network, and you can also be notified whenever we are on live stream. Okay, for now, if you don't have any requests, go back to our list and check um, the highly talked about stock for the day, right? What's trending, what's hot in the news. Guys, if you also have some news to update everyone in this live right now, feel free to drop a comment and share your thoughts, okay? So we talked about MWC. Did we talk about tech? Not yet. Oops. Hold on. Tech. Okay, tech. I suggest you start marking tech here. Volume is increasing for the past three trading days, and looks like you have already reached the bottom for the stock, and now we have already triggered and moved, actually ended above the MA20 line. So I have a feeling we have more actions to the upside for tech. Okay, so if you want to give it a try, the nearer you are to MA20, the better. But let's say it only gives us a chance halfway, and then price continues to go up, at least you are already in, right? MA20 line is my suggested entry level for this stock. We're already at a very, very, very promising entry for tech. But then again, your assignment is to check the fundamentals, go to PSE Edge, go to news, and check the reason that may have influenced the decline for how many, for the entire 2 years, guys, right? So hopefully we're now reversing, and it's sustained. Okay, have we talked about ABBA? You have reached a bearish. Okay, people took profit, and it might continue to rest for a few days. All right. We talked about BPI. BPI has already crossed the MA20 line, so in case you can, and I'm sure a lot of you are in BPI for long-term purposes. You're already at a reasonable entry price. The market has already given us a chance when it dipped, so I'm assuming we will have some more bullish movements now. And let's check out your MA20 level. Let's see if it bounced in that area. Okay. Did we talk about ICT? ICT, this is a resistance that I see where it is at right now. That's a resistance. So in case people will take profit, catch it in this level. Okay. You're creating a higher low in this area. So in case it dips, chances are it will bounce around that level. And yeah, but for now, so currently you're sitting at the resistance, right? But there are also occasions when it really breaks your resistance and totally creates a gap up and starts above that. Then in that situation, you will now have a brand new wave where you have your previous resistance now becoming your support. Okay. We talked about AC. Yeah, I think we did. Ali, your C. Can't remember because we launched it. Yeah, I think that is it for today, unless you guys have other requests. Also, if you have other recommendations on what else I can share to you, I'm thinking of other things to also share. You've noticed I have several videos documenting my travel. I might also give other insightful practical words of wisdom around saving money. Maybe I will be sharing that in the coming this 2020. I'm still thinking if I will pursue that or just concentrate on this. Just share your thoughts, guys. Let me know if you like it. If you like to just have this in our channel, or you'd like us to add some more content about anything. Okay, just feel free to drop a comment, and I want this to be as engaging as possible so that it's not just very transactional to talk about this every single day. Let me know. Okay. For now, thank you very much for joining me tonight, and please feel free to go back to our insights yesterday and validate whether our assumptions are correct. And if those for those insights that I was able to share, or correct insights that I was able to share, uh, you can replicate those. Okay, you can use that, take advantage of those thought process, and then maybe apply it in your trades. You can first try it in your virtual trades before you introduce that to your live trades. Okay, but thank you again, and chat with you tomorrow. Okay, bye bye for now. Good night.